Say it now. Say the obvious prediction right now.
The Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Hey guys, welcome back to Star Caster Remarks. Alongside Chris, my name is Ryan Chambers. We are the only fan-led Dallas Stars podcast here in the DFW area. We thank you guys for joining us here for the review of Game 5 against the Avalanche here in the 2024 playoffs. Before we get into tonight's game, Chris, I just want to get your initial thoughts on this. How are you feeling? What's your emotions? What's your frustrations? What's your excitements? What are we feeling right now?
Just like last series, it's hard to beat a team this good 4 games in a row, and that's kind of what the Stars ran into tonight. I think this was the most even series between the two teams. If I had to pick a game. And it was a ton of fun to watch. And I think one goalie just got the better of the other goalie in an offensive slug match. And I think that's kind of what it comes down to tonight.
So lots of things to talk about here in tonight's game, Chris. But let's start with a couple of the obvious ones in the fact that, we didn't win the goaltending battle here tonight. Otter was not the better goalie than Georgiev. Now, Georgiev was not better than Otter in any of the 4 previous games, in my opinion. But Ottinger had a fairly rough game here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, even worse than rough, it was bad. I mean, that second goal from Makar should never go in under any circumstances. That's the worst goal he's given up all playoffs. It probably will be the worst goal he's given up he's going to give up in the entirety of the playoffs. That was pretty bad. And then even he's got a chance for redemption at the end of it too. I mean, you got McKinnon coming down when you just got that goal, big response, tried to keep it to one goal game. And that's when you want a big save right there when you're in an elimination game on their best player. And he couldn't find a way to get that one either. I mean, obviously that's a great shot from a great player. I'm not blaming him for not getting it, but that's the kind of save that a big time goalie makes in a big time game when you really need it. And we couldn't get that one tonight.
Okay. So I want to back off on you kind of hit my second point here, which we'll talk about in a moment, but here's my thought process on this. Ottinger has been fantastic this entire playoffs. He has stepped up to the plate and he has been the better goaltender in both series that we've seen, whether it was against Thompson or against Hill or in Georgiev in this one. At some point, he's going to have a bad game. That's just the way that the law of averages work. And the offense had an opportunity to bail out their goalie tonight when their goalie bails them out almost all the time, right? So did he have a bad game? Absolutely yes. But this goes to that's kind of my side argument to this first point. But the second point is when we lose the special teams battle and we take penalties, you are going to lose the game. The Stars were the better team 5-on-5. They were the better team 5-on-5 until they got the lead for the first time this series, and then Colorado was able to relax a little bit and play their game more. So that's the frustrating thing for me, is that special teams needs to be way better, especially the penalty kill against this Colorado Avalanche team.
Yeah, and you saw the Stars penalty kill dominate them in the past 3 games. I mean, dominating the best power play in the league, and that was really something to watch. But to come back and, I mean, quite an adjustment made by Bednar to figure out a way around it, because they opened it up big.
And then, so the third point I wanted to kind of get to, I've got like a bullet list in my head here. What was one of the things we talked about numerous times this week and last week? If you keep the top guys off, they don't stand a chance. That's really what it is. And by golly, we were doing okay for the first 2 periods. I mean, Casey Middlestat had a goal, and then Makar had 1 goal on the power play. Okay, that's fine. It's on the power play. But then they opened up. The Stars did. And after that 3rd goal, they're not used to playing from behind in this series, and they had to do it for the first time, and they were unsuccessful in trying to get back. So you can't allow the top players for the Colorado Avalanche to get going, because if you give them a step, they'll take a mile.
Yeah, and the Stars had to open up this game to try and claw back in with giving up a goal so early in that 3rd period. And you saw what happens whenever the game opens up, and when the Stars let that happen. That's when the Avs' best players are going to feast, is when that game opens up. And we had to let it open to try and get that goal. And that's when those guys go off. I mean, they showed how good they were right there. And it kind of shows how good the Stars system has been against them too.
The other thing that's a little bit frustrating about this is the fact that they start with the lead. And of all people who gets the goal to start the lead off for the Stars, it's Joe Pavelski. So you have basically ruined a opportunity for you to win the series when a guy who has not been scoring very much in the playoffs gets you a goal. That's the super frustrating part, as a not major thing. It's just something to complain about. So what were your thoughts on Pavelski's game tonight? Did he look any better?
Yeah, he looked tons better. Advanced Analytics backed that up too. He was 2nd in expected goals on the Stars tonight. He looked great. He could have had 2, could have had 3, maybe even if he gets a better deflection. So he played a lot better. Hopefully he can keep that going. And it was a great response by him to Rope being out of the lineup. You needed someone to step up, and Pavelski did, and that really gave us a chance to be in this game.
Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump into this because I knew this was going to be a talking point. We got Zachary and Nate already talking about it, and there's even previous comments about it. But Zachary, I'm not even going to complain about the penalties, non-calls. I honestly am just about the calls. And Nate G saying, we've been fighting the rest for the entire playoffs, Zach. 3 missed trippings tonight alone. Okay, here, and it's not fair because I shouldn't be frustrated, but I'm not frustrated with the officiating. The thing is, Chris, I'm tired of complaining about the officiating. The officiating is going to be bad. That's just what I've come to fruition with. Doesn't matter how it is. There's going to be bad calls both ways. You have to take advantage and deal with the crap that you get. You have to control what you can control. You can't control the fact that did Rantanen sell it a little bit? Absolutely. Okay. Honestly, the Stars should have gotten 4 for that.
Yeah,
I think the reason why I think the reason why they didn't get 4 for that is because Rantanen was bleeding. He was. That's kind of the rule of thumb, is if someone's bleeding, you get a double minor. I think the reason why he didn't get 4 minutes is because he threw himself on the ice a little bit and sold it a little bit. So I'm tired of hearing about, well, the refs did this and the refs didn't call that and this. And yes, there's absolutely things that went wrong that the refs screwed up on that was really bad. But at some point you can't just be looking at the other person's eye, in this case the ref's eye, and look at the speck in their eye when you're looking at the plank in your own eye. You've got a plank in your eye and you didn't play the right way. Your special teams let you down, your goaltending let you down, your power play didn't do any favors tonight. So I'm not trying to be like frustrated with other Stars fans and stuff like that, because I feel like I'm in the minority here. But you got to focus and you got to fix the things that you can control. You can't control the officiating.
I think there is bad calls. I think it's fair to complain about those. But the fact is, Stars had 4 power plays, really to the Avalanche's 2. They had one more power play due to the 2-minute min at the end of the ice, or at the end of the game. So the Stars had every chance to get back in this game. The Stars got 2 chances from the referees to find a way back into this game, and they weren't able to do it. I'm going to go defend some Stars fans here, because the fact that McKinnon doesn't get a penalty on a pick there at the top of the zone, and then we get a penalty for the cross check to the face, is just crazy. I mean, that's the most obvious pick someone could throw. It's not called because it's Nathan McKinnon, and that's literally the only reason. So that's definitely a frustrating part, because we shouldn't have even gotten to that net front. It should have been a penalty on McKinnon, and the play should have stopped. So there's definitely reason to be frustrated, because McKinnon got special treatment tonight, and that was obviously shown. And even on the holding the stick penalty, I mean, Suter had his stick maybe for a quarter of a second, and then McKinnon shoves his stick into Suter's armpit and leaves it there.
And then and then the slash by Manson at the end of the game on Tyler Seguin.
Manson takes a chunk out of Sagan's calf, and nothing is called there. By the way, that stuff was going on all night long in front of the net. I don't know why that, and it got progressively worse, and then it led to a player getting injured. So poorly managed game by the refs on that front. But yeah, you can definitely complain about it, because McKinnon for sure got special treatment tonight. But on the other end, Stars had every chance to win this game on special teams. They got their chances from the refs, and you didn't take care of it. I mean, what other power plays would you want other than the one to tie the game and the one to try and get the game back at the end?
Okay, and see, you're kind of taking the words out of my mouth, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't be frustrated with the calls, because there were things that were missed, and especially the biggest one is that McKinnon obvious interference pick play. But you at some point you have to control your own destiny, and you got to go in and you got to get the goal. You have to good teams always find a way to win despite whatever else is going on.
And the refs gave him a chance. It's not like the refs didn't give us a chance. We got chances.
So, and I mean, we had a 6-on-4. We pulled the goalie. We had a penalty, or we had a power play with less than 3 minutes to go, and we easily could have scored to make it 4-3, and then to get a power play goal, and then be able to have a 6-on-5, and maybe even have the opportunity to tie it there. So I think both can be true, but
both are true.
They can be true. Yes, that is correct, Chris. They both are true. But the thing you can't control is the refs. The thing you can control is how you're playing. That's where I'm at, and that's why I was a little bit frustrated with all that. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
And at both ends, you could have had a clutch power play at the end of the game, or you could have had a clutch penalty kill in the middle of the game.
Or a save. Or one save on that McKinnon shot, which I don't blame Otter on it completely, because it's Nathan McKinnon. But at the same time,
I don't blame him at all. But like, it's a big time play by a big time player, and he didn't get it.
He has made those kind of saves this series, and this is the one game where he's looked kind of pedestrian a little bit.
The McCarr one is the awful one, and just hurts especially bad after Stankoven gets that goal to get us to 3. I mean, imagine if we tie the game in the middle of the third period with all the momentum. I mean, it's totally different there. So yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, and all of that's fair. That is absolutely all fair. It's just things not to be this way, but the stars were just not aligning for us tonight. That's just the way it was, and you could kind of tell based off of the first period. The first period, both teams were kind of going back and forth a little bit, but the Avalanche were just a little bit better. And then in the second period, the Stars were a little bit better, and they just didn't take care of their opportunities in the third period. Had power plays, allowed a
Had a
power play
mistake.
goal, had a mistake. So it's just it the I should be more frustrated. I feel like I should be more frustrated, but I'm not because of the fact that this was a game 5 in which the Stars are up 3-1. Now, what
Yeah, I
sucks is
mean,
we have to go back to Colorado and, play game 6. But the Stars have shown that they can go to Denver, to Vegas, to wherever and win games.
yeah,
So,
that's why you go up 3-1, and that's great for the Stars, and they earned the luxury to lose this game. So good on them for that. But it's frustrating to me that, I mean, penalty kill and goaltending, I mean, that's where we should be dominating the Avalanche. And
yeah.
those two things fell apart. And that really, really hurts in a very winnable hockey game. Because the Stars
Okay.
did a great job of matching the Avs' intensity, I felt like tonight, especially, which I was not expecting. I was expecting us to just try and survive that first period. And we didn't just survive it. We played well. Both teams were just battling it out, and we matched their intensity all game long. And I feel like that makes it a missed opportunity tonight. It wasn't like the Stars just came out flat and it was just bad from the get-go. Stars played good enough to win this game, and they got beat on 2 parts of the game where they're supposed to be good.
Okay, so let's talk about probably the biggest storyline going into the next game, Chris, is the fact that we're already without Rope Hintz, and my best guess is he's done for the series. I think we're lucky if he's able to play in the conference finals. And then Ardell over here, Sagan likely has a knee injury. And if there is any sort of major injury to Tyler Sagan, that all of a sudden the Stars, deepest part of their lineup, which is the center position, is going to get tested. So
Yeah, I didn't see the slash. I don't know if he got a knee or if he got the back of the calf. There's no padding on the back of the calf, so that's what it could. If he got whacked hard enough, I mean, that can draw blood even through your thick sock. So that's what I'm hoping it is. But yeah, if it's a knee thing, then yeah, we're in trouble. We're gonna be looking at a Maverick coming in.
yeah, and that I know that's not the greatest thing in the world to expect that from Maverick Bork, but I mean, you can't really ask for worse. I mean, he's the AHL MVP. He was tremendous this year, and now we need some goal support because we basically lost our top 2 centers
I
in a
mean,
way.
that's gonna be
So
tough to to request any goal support from Bork. I think coming in cold on a game 6, but I mean, hopefully he can. It'll be fun to watch at the very least.
So he was in a very big battle against the Milwaukee Admirals in the AHL playoffs. They were up 2-0, and they ended up losing the series 3-2 in that best of 5.
It's a different
So
league.
I know, but he's felt that playoff intensity. Obviously not at the same level because this is the NHL compared to the AHL, but that experience is still there. It's still fresh in his mind, and maybe he can view this as a second opportunity to win the series when he was
Well,
not able to do it with his AHL Stars.
we don't even know if he's going to be in yet or not, so we'll save that for a pregame article if you find out that Sagan's actually hurt.
Well, Sagan was already injured. He's already been fighting something, and then that whack to the back of his leg just
Well, we don't know
frustrated
that
it even more.
he's out for game 6 yet, though.
Okay, but based off of what I saw and what I heard, he limped off the ice and didn't come. And I mean, I know there were
It was
seconds
the end of the
remaining,
game.
but like he was limping off the ice,
I'm
and
just saying.
I'm
We'll just have to see. And I'm not convinced that Rope is out for game 6 either.
I don't know. Here's a serious question by Zachary Mitchell. Is anybody here shocked that the Stars lost this game tonight?
Yes.
Chris, are you shocked?
I'm shocked. I thought if the Stars got a lead in this game, that it would be over. And I thought the Avs would fold, and they didn't. And credit to them. I mean, that's a tough position to be in after losing one of your star players. And they responded really well to it and were fighting the whole time. When Stars went up a goal, there wasn't a drop. There wasn't really any fear in the Avs. They just kept going just like they were throughout the entire game. So, I mean, credit to them. They played well.
It was more of a hope, to be honest with you, for me, Chris. I was hoping that the Stars would close it out in 5 here, but it's the Colorado Avalanche, one of the best teams of the past 5-6 years. I just didn't see them. It wasn't like last game. Let's just say that it was a domination. I felt like the Stars were going to go up 3-1. In this game, I was hoping that they would win Game 5 to end the series.
I'm talking about before the game started. That's what I thought. During the game, I was not confident at all. No.
Okay.
It was a great back and forth game. But next game, I'm expecting to see just a crazy Otter. I mean, going on the road where he's obviously better, and with his crazy playoff record after a loss, I mean, I think he probably has, 2 losses in a row or 2 back-to-back losses in the playoffs, I think. So, yeah, he can be crazy. So I'm looking forward to see an animal Otter go out there and make some of the best saves we've seen, and for him to have his best game of the season. That's what I'm expecting Game 6.
And we'll have to see and wait for that till Friday night. I don't think we have a start time yet.
Just announced 9 p.m. Central. Not even 8:30. They won't even give us the 10 minutes.
Of course. It is what it is, but at least this game was at a decent time. See, here's the frustrating thing for me, just a side random thing. Most people won't be able to relate to this, but some of you might. There's Bible class on Wednesday night, right at 7 o'clock Central Time, right? I mean, like, come on. Okay, and for the past 2 weeks, the only time we have had, like, legitimate times in the Central Time Zone is on Wednesdays. That's it. I'm like, come on, at least give it to us on like a Friday or a Saturday. Like, come on, please. Okay. It's not that big a deal. It's just a random thing that I get to complain about.
Yeah.
Anything else,
if
Chris?
there's ever a game that would go to overtime, I was hoping it would be this one, and of course,
right?
we don't
Exactly.
Even get that.
There. Yeah.
I'm sure Game 6 will go to triple overtime.
Don't you dare say that. It's gonna end
Friday night. It's fine.
No, it's not okay. No, they're gonna win. They're gonna win in the 3rd period, and it's gonna be brilliant and amazing and beautiful. Okay. Anything else tonight, Chris?
PK goaltending. Figure it out.
I think that's kind of where I'm up at right now. Is just instant amnesia. That's what we need to have, especially Ottinger, especially the PK. Right there with you, Chris. And you know what? I'll throw the power play on there too, because the power play had the opportunity to bail out both, and they didn't do that. So
not clutch.
Okay. Biggest loser, biggest winner tonight here, Chris. Who you got?
Biggest loser is Otter. I mean, even if he had a great game other than that one goal, he still would be the biggest loser. I mean, that's a terrible one to give up.
For me, it's the penalty kill. We were up 2-1, and you had an opportunity to shut it down, and that's really frustrating. That you're not able to keep the top guys off the scoreboard. So that's for me tonight. I don't even want to give it to Otter because he bails out this team so much, and the penalty kill was part of the reason why that didn't help bail out Otter tonight. So that's where I'm at. Biggest winner.
This is very Homer because Cale Makar beat him tonight, but I'm giving it to Miro Heiskanen. Cale Makar finishes with 2 goals, obviously 26-46, crazy time on ice. Miro Heiskanen finishes 1 goal, 27-59. Crazy. And he was playing out of his mind. 3rd period, he looked like a man possessed. I thought for sure he was going to score another goal. I mean, both of those guys just put on a show. It was a ton of fun to watch. Makar got the better of it because of a fluke goal that went in. I mean, those two are just so much fun to watch.
There's a couple I could choose here tonight, but you know what? I'll be that guy because I'm the older of the 3 of us. I'll give it to Joe Pavelski. He finally gets the enormous gorilla off his back. He gets a goal, and I know we're not expecting him to be, lights out like he was. 4 goals against Seattle in Game 1.
4 goal Game 6.
Now that would be insane. That would be funny. It would be insane. But maybe this gets him going and we see him on the score sheet a little bit more consistently for the rest of the playoffs. So, okay. Final takes for tomorrow. What do you predict is going to be the score tomorrow?
Ask me to predict a score. It's gonna be 2-1 Dallas overtime. I really think both of these goalies are gonna put on a show tomorrow. It's Friday.
Here's a big extreme hot take. I'm gonna go 6-1 Dallas.
Whew.
It's gonna be a blowout.
That's a hot take.
It's gonna be an absolute blowout. Otter's gonna stand on his head, and the offense is gonna go off. So yeah,
I hope so. We need that extra game of rest.
Yep. Oh yeah. Sorry. One extra thing. Now that you mentioned that, I know some people are frustrated at the fact that the Stars didn't take care of this here tonight, and like, oh, we need the extra rest for the next series. Dude, you got to win the series in front of you first.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't feel like it right now, but the Stars could not still lose this series and lose it in Game 7. So
it kind of feels like it. You go back into
it feels like it right now
with a team that is fighting for its life and some fans that are going to be going berserk. It's scary. Momentum is definitely back on the Avalanche's side.
Right. And I just feel like just take care of the opponent in front of you. Take care of that. And then obviously it didn't really affect the Stars very much going from Vegas against Colorado. They've done very well in the limited amount of time they got in the series, which was literally a day. So
they're starting to drop like flies, though, man. I don't know.
And there's a little bit of concern there, but if there's any team that can figure it out, it's the Stars, and it's their depth. So we'll see how it works with them. Okay, guys, thank y'all for listening here tonight. We had 109 here live with us here this evening. Thank you for doing that. There's even more of you who are listening afterwards. We appreciate you guys as well. Go ahead and check out sarcasticremarks.com. That's the fastest place to listen to our episode on the audio side. If you're listening on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. Leave us a comment what you thought of this game. And as always, wherever you listen to your podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. It's the best way to help us grow. Alongside Chris, my name is Ryan. We will catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening. Whenever you guys are listening, the Stars are going to take care of it in Game 6. It's going to be a blowout. You just watch. See you guys later.